Wide news, wide friends! It's Wednesday and the first version of Widefort waltzes to the workshop. The first public beta is now available to sink your teeth into with a link to the workshop page in the description. Any and all feedback is appreciated, and if you want to chew on it yourself, be aware there may be some rough edges. I've opened a Discord server to give some feedback. I do my best to read all your comments here, of course, but this is an additional way to interact with other wide friends. More on that later. I won't delay you from the main event further. The version of Widefort on the workshop now is CTF Widefort B0, the first beta. However, your feedback on the last Wide update has begun spinning several sets of gears in my head, and I have been testing some extra tweaks and ideas. This has led me to not one, not two, nor even three, perish the thought, but 10, that's right, 10 Widefort experiments, each focusing on a single variable, and not all meant to be taken seriously. But uploading 10 betas to the workshop, not all of which will make the cut, is unwieldy and confusing. So amid feedback from B0, I will be whittling down the 10 experiments by combining the tweaks that work into the final version, and leaving the rest to wallow in hammer obscurity for generations to come. Some versions have already found themselves on the cutting room floor. But to show off the future changes, have a peek behind the screen at the madness that lurks in the dark corners of Widefort. Widefort B0, the original, the vanilla, the control that I compare all the other beta versions to. The layout is largely unchanged from my previous Wide update. There's a drop-down and a pass-through beneath the battlements, a wide flank that accesses the team yard, a second sewer flank that leads beneath the new spawn drop door to the lower team yard, an additional route from top sewer to intel, cover leading up to the intel room, and a flank behind the intel room through the server rooms. Widefort B2. This one goes out to all the many people who to this day are still asking for the water level to be lowered. I lovingly call this beast Wetfort. Ain't I a stinker? Widefort B3. For real this time, this actually goes out to the people asking for lowered water. The level is more comparable to stock 2-fort, even a little lower because I am nothing if not a mapper of the people. Widefort B6. Through my testing, I found that the flank from top sewer was a bit too powerful of an in, so this version cuts a whole new flank through another viewer-requested area, the control room. Now, the whole room is huge, and making the whole thing playable would be too much to work with, but this catwalk gives you a taste of that freedom and connects back to the new flank through the server room. Widefort B7. Several people have asked, Wide Bridge when? Unfortunately, the bridge is a prop, so editing the bridge directly would require some separate modeling software, and I'm still learning Hammer, never mind Blender. But I managed to replicate it fairly well the old-fashioned way in a bit more effort, plus some cover. So to answer the question on Wide Bridge when, Wide Bridge now. Widefort B8. This version is meant to tweak the flow of an attack in the basement. The door to the server room flank is now one way only, in but not out. You can run in and grab a pickup easily and exit through the server window, but if you're on your way out with the intel, you'll need to find another way. Widefort B9. In the interest of ensuring that not every location becomes too hard to defend, this version tweaks the right sewer flank to remove the stairs, making it more friendly to defenders by limiting the attackers who can make use of the route, while still providing an alternate route to break up NG nests in the sewers. Now, to briefly touch on the server plan. I don't have one yet. It's on the back burner while I look into possible hosts. However, Widefort B0 is on the workshop now for anyone to use on their servers, and if you do, I'd love to see the results. If you want to dive into the eye of the wide storm, I have a Widefort and General Teamfort 2 Discord server that you can join to be on the front lines of Widefort discussion. Regardless of if you play Widefort online or off, I expect I'll learn a lot more hearing from some real people who make use of the map instead of just a swarm of bots. Though I admit, watching a swarm of bots run around my precious Eraserhead baby is very entertaining. I have taken quite a liking to Rage Quit and Hostage. As usual, Thank you for joining me on this rolling storm that rocks our wide ship through the tumultuous seas of Hammer Editor. It's thrilling to see the continued strong support, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the new Discord server, hearing your feedback on the first beta on the workshop, and of course, here in the YouTube comments. If you, like me, are mad enough to be here now, I would flay myself on the altar of great old ones for you to hit the video with a like or subscribe to keep up to date with the future of Widefort. Widefort. More fort, more fun.